If Becky Lynch is the man, then that makes me gay, because Becky Lynch is hot as fuck. Welcome back, guys, for your WWE Raw review for the 5th of December. Becky Lynch is hot, but unfortunately, Raw is not. Another 3 hours of garbage. But before we get on to that, let's talk about Becky Lynch's outfit. I'm sick of it. How can people say, oh, don't view the women as sexual objects, respect them for their wrestling ability? It is absolutely retarded. That would be like someone putting £1 million cash in your living room and telling you to look at it as an ornament rather than its value. It's fucking ridiculous. Becky Lynch tonight wearing this like black kind of corset, leather corset with like a see-through top, and you got the fishnets, and it's like, holy fuck, how can you look at Becky Lynch and think, wow, there's a good wrestler? I'm looking at Becky Lynch and thinking, holy fuck, that babe is hot as shit. That's what I think when I see Becky Lynch. None of this pro wrestling crap. But anyway, we're here to talk about Monday Night Raw, but I just had to get this Becky Lynch thing off my chest. I mean, I wish I could get on Becky Lynch's chest, but yeah, let's talk about Becky Lynch. Let's talk about Alexa Bliss, right? Alexa Bliss, smoking hot. Becky Lynch, smoking hot. But unfortunately, that doesn't make the show good. You know, it just doesn't. Now, maybe if they were rolling around the ring 3 hours naked, it would improve the show a little bit. But overall, the show it still sucks, man. I'm sorry. This Raw was garbage. It really was. And tonight, this is probably a Raw that I enjoyed more than usual because I missed the first hour. So, yeah, I did not see the first hour. If the first hour was good, then I apologise. If a lot of good stuff happened in the first hour, then please forgive me and I'll praise Raw next week. But I didn't see the first hour. I did quickly look at the results. So we had the title match, the tag team title match. Elias got taken out earlier in the night by the Bloodline, so therefore Kevin Owens stepped in, and the Bloodline defeated Owens and Riddle. Not predictable at all, and it looks like Solo Sikoa injured Riddle, sent him home. He went in a box. He didn't go to a box. He went home in an ambulance, or maybe he went to the hospital. I don't know where he went, but he left the arena. And apparently Drew McIntyre is disqualified from competing. He's disqualified from medically competing on SmackDown, whatever that means. So the tag team title match on SmackDown is not going to be the Usos versus Drew and Sheamus. It's going to be the Usos versus Drew and Butch. And how the hell are we supposed to believe that Butch is an adequate replacement for Drew McIntyre? It is clear as fucking day that the Usos are going to win anyway. Don't get me wrong, the Usos are going to beat anybody because the Bloodline are holding these belts hostage and no one is even allowed to get a sniff of them. Seriously, but I mean, come on. You go from Sheamus and Drew. If Drew can't compete, couldn't they at least get a better teammate than fucking Butch, a guy that we've seen over the past couple of weeks? He's had his chance and he hasn't taken it. I mean, even put Kevin Owens back in the team. Even have Kevin Owens turn up on SmackDown and have him team with Sheamus. But Sheamus and Butch, come on to fuck. We know that's just not going to end the Bloodline title reign. So we're getting 2 triple threat matches tonight. Former champions, it's Bayley, Asuka and Rhea Ripley. Then it is Becky, Bliss and Nikki Cross. The winner of both those triple threats will take each other on next week, and then the winner of that will take on Bianca Belair. In the first triple threat match, Bayley defeats Asuka and Rhea Ripley. Long match, very long match. Bayley wins after Rhea Ripley takes herself out of the equation. Don't know why. She's done a senton off the steel steps and landed on her big ass, and then Bayley got in, took care of Asuka. Do we really need to see Bayley versus Bianca Belair again? We've seen it about 4 times in the past couple of months, and every time Bayley's lost. Do we need to see it again? I personally do not think so, but Bayley wins with the rose plant, so she will go on next week. We then have Rollins. Rollins is here. Oh, they're doing the wee tune. He's dressed like a fanny again. He calls out Bobby Lashley. He basically keeps getting in Lashley's face, saying that Lashley is annoyed that he can't beat Lesnar. Lashley wishes he had Lesnar's career. Lesnar this, Lesnar that. Well, why is Seth Rollins bragging about Lesnar being better than Lashley? I mean, Brock Lesnar's 10 times better than you, Seth. So, why is he taking so much glory here? And I get it, he's playing mind games, whatever, but I've never seen a guy that is supposed to be a star. Could you imagine Austin coming out and bragging about the fact maybe that The Rock couldn't beat The Undertaker? Austin wouldn't give a fuck. Austin would be like, the only person you can't beat is me, and that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. He wouldn't give a shit about other people. And I know people are going to say, oh, yeah, but that's Seth Rollins, he's the master manipulator. No, He's just a fucking fruit that dresses in stupid fucking outfits, and he's lucky that he gets to go home and bang Becky Lynch every single night. And you know what? I think I despise Seth Rollins a wee bit more than that. Maybe the jealousy is seeking through, but eventually it leads to Rollins and Bobby Lashley brawling. Bobby Lashley ends up spearing some official who was trying to separate them. And they're marking out, they're freaking out as if this official means something. It's just a random dude that got speared. Yeah, I felt like they were going to have a 60-second silence for the guy. I felt like they were going to have a minute silence for the guy because this guy got speared. And it's like, how many times now did they do the pull apart and did they do the security and the officials come out? Like, back in the day, that very rarely happened, but when it did happen, it felt big. See, nowadays, it happens every single week, and it's like, Triple H, change up the fucking formula now. It doesn't, the more you do something like this, it just waters it down. It's like every single week there's security now, officials pulling people apart, and if you see it every week, then it loses its appeal. It loses its attraction. If you see the same thing over and over again, it loses value. And that's what's happening with these pull-aparts. These officials running out to try and separate Rollins and Lashley. Why? Let them fucking fight. Why? And everything in this show just seems so slow and boring. It's like, yeah, these two are in the ring tonight, but they don't face off next week. And when they do, it's for a US title. It's like, it's not like the main title. Why couldn't they have just faced each other tonight? And then the winner gets Fury next week or whatever. It's the same with the women's match. It's like, why couldn't they have had the two triple threat matches tonight, and then the winners face each other in the main event? It's like, they have to drag everything fucking out, man. So we don't get Lashley versus Rollins tonight. We get a promo with a brawl, and then we get the number one contender match next week. Same with the women. We get the two triple threat matches this week, and then the two winners advance who face each other next week. And it's like, why? I mean, why is everything so fucking slow and pedestrian? And watching this, it sucks, man. This is terrible. Break after break after break. The story, it's like on SmackDown with Bray, right? You can argue they're trying to develop the character. You can argue it's a slow burn storyline, but Jesus Christ, Bray Wyatt's been back now about 3 months, and with literally everything that Bray Wyatt's done in 3 months, in the Attitude Era, in the Ruthless Aggression Era, that would have happened in literally two shows max. 2 shows max. But no, they have to drag everything out now, man. It's boring as fuck. It really is. This show sucks. Lashley gets told off by Adam Pearce for attacking the official. Pearce says, oh, I know you didn't mean it, but if it happens again, I'm going to have to fine you. And it's like, what? Or have to pull you out your match. And so obviously Seth Rollins is going to do something next week and try and, get someone involved. But again, Lashley's kind of right here. I mean, it's not his fault. Why are these people coming out in the first place to try and... Oh, wait, producer P.T. Williams. So is this P.T. Williams that was in TNA? It might have been the P.T. Who gives a shit? I don't care, right? P.T. Williams, he used to do a good Canadian Destroyer. Then unfortunately, everybody stole the move on him. So that kind of sucks, but regardless, who cares? And I guess next week, maybe Rollins will try and, throw someone else in front of Lashley. But Lashley's right. This guy shouldn't have been here. Lashley and Rollins got into a brawl, and they should have just let them brawl. Why are all these officials coming out, getting in the way of it, Makes no sense. We have the poker tournament backstage. Honestly, like I said in the preview for Raw, back in the day, if there was going to be a poker tournament with JBL, Farouk would be there. They'd be acting like men. They'd be drinking beers, smoking cigars. It'd be like a fucking real man's tournament. And you would have your comedy element, because there was actually guys back in the day that were funny. You would have Tajiri, you would have Christian, Crash Holly, Hurricane, people like that. There was comedy fucking wrestlers back in the day. Obviously, yeah, someone like Jericho, someone like The Rock, those are comedy guys. But then you had your lower card comedy guys that were kept for segments and skits like this. But today, Tozawa's not a funny guy. Just because he can't speak English isn't funny. You've got Dexter Lumis here. You've got Dominic Mysterio. I think AJ Styles. Baron Corbin's cheating, and it's like, it was lame. It was fucking lame. And then Dexter and what I also didn't get was Dexter turns up with a big bag of cash. He throws the money out on the table. By the end of the poker tournament, Johnny Gargano is freaking out. It's like, we've won all this money. He throws the money into the bag. Then they go and meet up. Candice LeRae's wife's backstage. They break kayfabe. They admit that they're married. And then Johnny says, look at the amount of money that Dexter won. And then she looks in the bag and she's like, holy. But before she can say fuck, she covers her mouth. And then they take off. But Dexter Lumis didn't win all this money. He showed up with this money. When he arrived, he poured out his duffel bag onto the table and he had all the money in it. So literally, yeah, maybe he's won a couple of extra dollars, but all this money that was in the bag, he turned up with. It's not like he won it. He had all the money to begin with. So again, just stupid writing. It wasn't funny. It did lead to a match, so between the OC, Corbin, and the Alpha Academy. The OC win. The OC are boring as fuck. Corbin, wrestling god. No, he's not. He is honestly not. Please, can you not do something good with JBL? Surely there's someone on the roster you could pair JBL up with, or just put him back on commentary, or have him be a GM. Please, for the love of God, have JBL be a fucking good heel GM. When was the last time we had a good heel GM? I don't think we have. We had the Authority like back in 14, 13, 15, but when was the last time we had a good heel GM? It would have been, actually, John Laurinaitis was pretty good, but before that, you're probably looking back to Eric Bischoff in like 2005. Maybe Coachman had some roles. You had McMahon turn up for a bit, but like, when was the last time we actually had a good GM? JBL could be it. They should do that, because what they're doing at the moment with him and Baron Corbin, it fucking sucks. I love JBL, but what they're doing at the moment with him and bum-ass Corbin, it belongs in the bin. It's trash. We get a WWE United States title match, Mustafa Ali versus Austin Theory. This was funny. Theory's a heel, just gives Mustafa Ali the match. They're in the match. Dolph Ziggler comes out, attacks Austin Theory. Ref calls for the DQ. Mustafa Ali's not happy. Dolph Ziggler's like, well, I don't really care. I'm wanting to attack Austin Theory. So Dolph Ziggler coming across a bit of a selfish bastard here. Then Austin Theory gets in the ring after being attacked by Dolph Ziggler, lays out both Mustafa Ali and Dolph Ziggler. So Dolph Ziggler, with his big comeback tonight, ends up being laid out in the ring by Austin Theory, who came in and beat up both Ali and Ziggler. So, I mean, first of all, nobody cares that Dolph Ziggler's back. But even if you did care, straight away, he's been left in the middle of the ring like a fucking bum, like a jobber. I mean, how? If he comes back, if he makes his comeback, he should end this segment standing tall. I mean, this isn't me trying to pretend I know everything about wrestling, but I mean, I know the basics, and I could write a better show than Raw. Fucking could. If Dolph Ziggler's coming back, if he is on the return, you need to give him the momentum. You need to make him look strong. He comes out, attacks Austin Theory, has a wee argument with Mustafa Ali, then 30 seconds later, Austin Theory comes in, beats up Ali, throws him into the ring post, and hits his finisher on Dolph Ziggler, and Austin Theory stands tall. The Shamrock on commentary is saying no one can stop Austin Theory, even though a couple of weeks ago Austin Theory had lost 20 matches in a row. So come on, it's going to take more than Austin Theory, getting a couple of fucking wins for us to pretend that he's this unbeatable United States champion. And let's be honest, no one gives a shit about the United States Championship. We can pretend it's a belt that matters because the other belt's been held hostage by Roman Reigns, but I mean, in reality, the belt doesn't mean anything. We get Tosawa versus Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio, I think in the poker game, tried to steal Tosawa's chips or cards or money. I mean, who cares, honestly? This Raw is stealing 3 hours of my fucking life. I mean, honestly, you do not need to watch this Raw. The only thing good about this Raw was was Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss, and honestly, you could just quickly Google them, and that would make up for whatever happened on this Raw. Dominic beats Tosawa. Judgment Day is about to beat up Tosawa, and then the Street Profits come down to help Tosawa, and the Judgment Day leave. Why? I do not care. And then we get Becky Lynch warming up, and then we get the match. Alexa Bliss comes out first. I just don't get what they're doing with Alexa Bliss. Like, why does she carry the doll about but then leave it backstage? It's like 1 minute she's broken away from the whole doll shit, and then the next minute she's back with the doll, and it's like, what was the whole point of those like segments and those promos with the psychiatrist where she was like trying to give up Lily? It looked like she was almost coming back to like the former goddess Alexa Bliss, and I've actually got a bone to pick with this. Look, Alexa Bliss is fucking stunning. Alexa Bliss was arguably, in my opinion, the hottest diva of all time, the hottest female wrestler of all time, but WWE completely wasted the last 4 years of her career. Now, did I enjoy the stuff with Bray Wyatt? I did, but when you look back on it, her and Bray Wyatt were only together for a short period of time, maybe like 6 months. If you look at the rest of Alexa Bliss's career in the past 4 years, she's either been doing absolutely nothing or been teamed up with shit tag teams like Asuka and Bianca Belair, or before with Nikki Cross. It's been absolute garbage. This was the goddess Alexa Bliss. Like I said, fucking looked like Harley Quinn, arguably the hottest chick in the business, and she was in her prime. She was in her, late mid-20s. Now she's 31, and I'm not saying at 31 the game's over, but again, Lita and Trish, they both retired at 31. At 31, as a woman, you are on the downward spiral. Your trajectory isn't going up. Unfortunately, you are going down, and WWE have wasted Alexa Bliss's best years of her career. It's as simple as that. It really is. People can argue it. Oh, I don't care, Alexa Bliss. She can go. The men can wrestle to 40, so can Alexa. But men and women are different. And if you don't understand that, then there's really no point in me arguing it. Can Alexa Bliss wrestle till she's 40? Absolutely, she can. She could probably wrestle till she's 45, but she will never be as over at 40 as she was when she was the goddess and she had the title in 2017 and she was coming out dressed in like Harley Quinn, and she had the blue and the pink in her hair, and she was a fucking 11 out of 10. She will not get that appeal back. She will never be as over. She will never look as good as she did back then, because she is older now, and it's just a matter of fact. And if you don't understand, then I can't explain it to you. It's like Trish and Lita. I keep going back to these two, but they retired at 31. Now, obviously, Trish retired because she kind of wanted to have a family. I guess Lita wasn't the same, but maybe she didn't want to travel as much. The fact remains, though, at 31, their better years were behind them. Same with Stacey Keibler, same with Tori Wilson. I mean, you look at Maurice, yeah, she comes back and she has the odd on-screen appearance with The Miz, but when they get into their late 30s, when they get into their 40s, their career is on a downward spiral. It really is that simple. It's different for men. If you look at Undertaker, I mean, some people would argue Undertaker's best moments some people would say the best moments of Undertaker's career are actually in his 40s, when, he got towards the end of his career. And that could be true. I mean, I'm not denying that. There's a possibility that that's true. But it's not true for the women. And you will not get a woman that has a better run, or it gets more over, or has more popularity, or has more self-value or anything like that, then you will not get a woman that gets into her 40s that will be more over than she was when she was in her early 20s. It really is that simple. So they've absolutely wasted the best moments of Alexa Bliss. I'm not saying they should just give up on Alexa Bliss. If I was in charge, I would not give up on Alexa Bliss, but like I said, it's 4 years down the fucking toilet at the end of the day. And then you've got Becky Lynch, and like I said, looked hot as fuck tonight, and yeah, she's older than 31. I'm not denying that, but it would be different, man. If Becky Lynch with this same sort of style, this same sort of outfit, she'd be looking a hell of a lot better at 25 than she is 35. She would have a lot more attraction, a lot more appeal, a lot more popularity, a lot more value if she was 10 years younger. It's just that simple. It really is. Then we get the triple threat match, and it was an okay match, but again, how can you, as a man, how can you really focus on the wrestling? Look, I'm not taking anything away from Becky Lynch. She's an okay talker. She's okay in the ring. She's decent, but the first thing I see in Becky Lynch is her looks, her appearance, her sex appeal. To me, that is the first thing I see in Becky Lynch. Things like her promo ability, things like her wrestling ability I do respect it, and it does matter, but it's second best. You know, it is what it is, man. We can't lie here. You know, we just can't lie. So no one will ever care about fucking Doudrop, right? People can say Doudrop's a great wrestler. At the end of the day, we're not attracted to Doudrop. It's as simple as that, right? You need to be attractive to get over. And the same sort of goes for the men as well. You look at, I mean, no one who was hideous could really get over unless they had like this monster gimmick. I mean, if you look at the top men stars over the years, all the women have been attracted to them. You know, Reigns, Cena, all the guys, they've all been like, you know, mega favourites with female fans. So I mean, looks is everything in the wrestling, but it's everything in any business. I mean, come on, sex sells. It's like the biggest selling product there is in the world. And you look at any, I mean, ugly women, fat women do not get lead roles in movies. They don't. They just do not. So I mean, it is what it is. Becky Lynch has this match won. Damage Control come out, they pull her out the ring, they do a shield powerbomb through the announce table. Alexa Bliss hits her move off the top rope, gets the pin on Nikki Cross, 1, 2, 3, and Alexa Bliss wins, and she will take on Bayley next week. And that's how Raw ended, with Alexa Bliss winning, celebrating her win, and I guess we'll get Bliss versus Bayley next week. I've got a funny feeling Bliss will beat Bayley, and I think we're going to have a heel turn with Alexa Bliss. That's my prediction. And I pray to God Alexa Bliss beats Bianca Belair, because I have honestly had enough of that overrated, boring bitch. By the way, she cut a promo tonight on Raw. Wasn't worth mentioning. Wasn't any good. That's it. For me, Raw, I'm going to give it a 1 out of 10 tonight. And I'm honestly, maybe this is a bit fickle, but the reason I'm giving it is because I like Becky Lynch's outfit. I really enjoyed Becky Lynch's look tonight. It looked hot on her. It really suited her. And if I was her, I would dress like this more often. Yes. So there you go. It's getting a 1 out of 10 just purely based on how good Becky Lynch looked. And you know what? I kind of like the fact that they went with Bliss. I think Becky Lynch was the obvious choice to win. So I think going with Bliss was an outside pick, so fair play to that. Hopefully Bliss beats Bayley. I mean, the last thing I can watch is another Bayley versus Bianca Belair feud. So for the love of God, please, Alexa Bliss, 5 Feet of Fury, please beat the shit out of Bayley next week and win the number 1 contender match against her, and take the belt off Bianca Belair while you're at it. Anyway, guys, that's it. Raw's getting a 1 out of 10 for me. Absolutely sucked. But yeah, Becky Lynch is hot. Can't deny it. Alexa Bliss is hot too. I mean, there's hot women on this show, so that makes it a little bit more pleasurable to view, but yeah, the fucking show sucked. I'm not going to lie, guys. 1 out of 10. That's it. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, though, peace.